the pasuk says, "Usfartem lachem," and you shall count for you. You shall count for you. So what does Rav Nosson say? V'zehu usfartem lachem, and this is the idea of you shall count for you. Lachem, what does it mean that you shall count? Lachem, for you, la'atzmechem, for yourself. The counting process is for you yourself. Lachem la'atzmechem daika, and it's brought in other svarim, this idea, this diuk. I think it might even be a Zohar or something like that that makes this point, that it's la'atzmechem, it's counting for you. Lachem la'atzmechem daika, lachem, for you, for yourself specifically. Shekol echad tzorich lispor Sefiras Haomer, that each one needs to count. Sefiras Haomer shehu bechinas hischazkus, which is the idea of strengthening oneself and building oneself and moving towards Kabbalas HaTorah and becoming a kli. Hanal la'atzmo kefi ma shehu. He needs to count according to where he's at. Meaning each one is at a different place, each one is at a different stage of growth, and you have to be working on yourself according to where you're at. Lachem, for you. This is no comparing, this is not an idea of comparing or anything like that. This is an avoda for you. Kefi ma shehu, according to where you're at. And now listen to what Rav Nosson says. And you shouldn't fall in your mind because it looks like your friends are doing much better than you. Because even though it's a good thing to be an anav, it's a good thing to be humble and to hold other people as better than you. But he says, but if you're falling in your mind, and if that's putting you down, and if you feel worse, could you say but if you're falling in your mind, and if it's taking away, and you're feeling worse about yourself because you're holding other people better than you, and you're comparing yourself to other people, listen to what he says. Ein ze anava. Rav Nosson says that's not anivos. That's not being humble. That's not called humility. It's not called humility when you holding other people better than you and you're saying, wow, they're so much better than you, but that's knocking yourself down so much more and making you feel more insecure. That's not anivos. Adrabah, he says, on the opposite, on the contrary. Zehu gadlus gadol. This is the ultimate, this is all ego. That's all gaiva. Because what is humility? Humility, my Rabbi Grizzy, he translated, and I think it's so true. Humility, someone who is humble is the most secure person in the world. He is the most, it's security. Gaiva is insecurity. Gaiva is your false self who you have to protect, you have to defend in order, because you're uncomfortable with who you truly are. So you have this whole ego and you have this whole false image of who you've created that, and therefore you have to protect it. But an anav, someone who's a true anav, is completely secure because he knows his gifts, he knows his talents, he knows his qualities. Moshe Rabbeinu was anav mikol adam. He knows his purpose, he knows who he is. And he knows his avoda, and he knows if he's the leader, he knows that he's the leader. And if he knows that he's not the leader because someone else is a leader, that doesn't affect him. He's completely secure with what the gifts that Hashem gave him and what he has to do in this world, and he's a complete conduit in a channel. But someone who has gaiva, this ego, and I think, gaiva, like in general, people talk about gaiva, it's like this guy who's like this buff guy who's like putting himself out there and like, I'm the man. But in this generation, gaiva, I think, plays itself out in this way specifically, where it's insecurity because you have this false sense of self that you should be someone who you're not. And that's all ego. That's all sheker. That's all gaiva. And listen to what Rav Nosson says, Adarabah. On the contrary, if you're looking at other people as being stronger than you and being better than you and moving faster than you in Avodas Hashem, that's making you fall in your mind, Zehu Gadlus Gadol. This is the ultimate gaiva, or it's tremendous godless that you have, that because other people are better than you, it's not worth it for me. Hashem doesn't really care about my avodah because, like whatever, this is all I can do and this is where I'm at. That's gaiva. That's gaiva. Because you have this false perception of yourself that you're supposed to be so much better and you're supposed to be so much ahead. No, you're not. You're supposed to be exactly where you're at right now and working from there. But if you have this false image of you're supposed to be on a whole nother level, and when you see people like that, that makes you feel insecure because you're not holding there. And therefore you just feel like, forget it, I'm not going to do anything. That's gaiva. And Rav Nosson says, the adayin hu rochok kol kach, he adarab, it's tremendous gaiva, and he feels like he can't serve Hashem, and he feels like he's so far. And v'chaver of kvar zochu l'masha zochu, when his friends are already way ahead of him, are moving forward, and they already merited what they merited. The Muslim says, you can't start thinking these thoughts like, because they're better, I shouldn't do anything. You can't start thinking about after the ways of Hashem. Who knows where anyone is? Who knows where anyone is holding? And what his actions do and how far they go. Who knows? Who knows?